Latina admits Black Americans told everyone about the police, but they chose to ignore it. All right, let's get into this thing.
There's a lot of people on here who will say, well, I don't want to be the person to say I told you so. I am that person actually. And I will be the person to tell you, oh, we told you so. Oh, yes, we did. We told you. We screamed it. We yelled it. We wrote it down on social media. We did all kind of things. So I have no problem being a person to say, yes, Black America told all of you so. Now, case in point, a Latina is going to respond about what some Canadians was asking Americans about what's going on in your country. Why won't y'all do something? Let's check that out.
So there's an online discourse about why Americans aren't rioting, right? Or why we're not protesting. Obviously, part of it is because we know this is an attempt to provoke us into taking action, and that way they can declare martial law and really strip us of the remnants of rights that we have, right? But there's a Canadian on Threads who asked, like, why aren't we rioting and protesting? And somebody responded, like, oh, because we have police officers that are more than happy to pew pew us in the face. And all I keep thinking about is Black people told us this decades ago. Black people told us about police brutality, about state police, about like excessive use of force. Like they have told us for decades and nobody believed them. You have movements like BLM and other things and like the ACLU that like try to advocate about this. And they've been telling us for years they're doing it to them. Soon they're going to do it to us. Right. And there's a spectrum here. Right. So modern day, I mean, obviously Latinos are less police, but still hyper police compared to white communities, right? But we were told this for a long time that state police, well, I guess the police of the state, not literal state, but like sanctioned police officers, authority figures, law enforcement are more than happy to be violent against us, but nobody believed them because they were Black people. And on top of that, everybody would villainize them and make it seem like it was their fault. So this is all part of it. Race and racism is intrinsic to what's happening in all facets of the U.S. government and the overreach and the lack of civil rights and protections.
Now,
All right, so look, man, we all gotta look at this thing life through our own lenses, right? We gotta look it through our lens, and they gotta look at it through their lens. And when they see through their lens, they didn't see themselves ever being in this position. They always thought it would be us in this position. And even when we tried to reach out and join them with the ACLUs and things like that, I actually was gonna do a video on that, on the history of the Black American and the Latino, more so I believe it was Mexican, but I was gonna do a video on that, and do know about the ACLU, and I do know about the Black Lives Matter, but the Black Lives Matter, I have my own issues with that. What it became, it did, the root of it was good, but then it turned into something totally different that wasn't for, truly for Black people anymore, so-called Black people. But they saw in their lens as well, even though they didn't ever think it would be them. They saw the people that were in there and the people that did try to team up with them. But they chose to try to assimilate closer to so-called whiteness. And, you know, um, it is what it is. Because this isn't just a thing about the so-called black person or the so-called Mexican or the so-called white person anymore. I think as a group of people, we could all see the through the lens if we were able to just if we were able to separate the color for a minute, or the ethnicity, the nationality, the race. If we were able to see through that real quick, we could see, if you look at the system as a whole, that it isn't really good or beneficial for, not, I mean, it's not really, you can see, right? You can see with the medical, the taxes, the insurance, the just the constant stripping of rights, and just it's I will say this, the system as a whole is trying to suck everybody. But yeah, I'm just gonna leave it there. We ain't gotta go into it, man. What's understood don't need to be explained too much. So with that being said, please like, comment, subscribe. Shout out to y'all. We out.